Happy Friday, everyone. The quantum market is insane right now. Look at these numbers. QUBT up 23%, Rigetti up 13%, $40 a share, D-Wave up 12%, BTQ 8%. We're going to go into the quantum market. We're also going to go into some different tickers today, like SoFi, Plug, ACHR. ACHR Aviation has an Airshow this weekend, which I'm super excited for. And a lot of our tickers are doing pretty well right now. If you followed this channel this year, since I started it, some of the stocks I've been talking about have been having a very nice little run this week. I want to go over in this video kind of the price action on all those, a little bit of market news. We're going to try to get in and out of here in about 15 to 17 minutes. I respect your time. Do me a huge favor, hit the like button. It helps more people see this and stay informed. All right, let's jump in. So we got to start with the quantum watch list, and QUBT just blew up today. And I actually mentioned this on the Discord pre-market today. I said, hey, you know what? QUBT, the investors are going to forget the dilution and they're just going to be buying any quantum in sight with FOMO. And that's exactly what happened. There was a massive move. Rigetti, $40 a share, unbelievable. I could not believe it when I saw it. D-Wave, $32.70. And we got a new price level out of D-Wave, rejecting off of 33. We'll go into that in the chart. SEALSQ had a nice day. It's doing a steady little climb up in BTQ as well. And down the watch list, we're seeing just lots of buying in the quantum space. Another watch list here, Plug Power. You guys know I've been talking about Plug for a couple months and it just had a monster day. You got a price upgrade and they've been selling their hydrogen to European customers. And it might be looking a little bit better for Plug Power. So I have been building my position and I'm in it for the long haul. ACHR Aviation up 13.5% today. I'm super excited to talk about that. And of course, there's some names that are mixed in here, but Ondas up again, 7.6%. I did do a little bit of a nibble at the end of the market day and just grabbed a few more shares because this might be the last time we have a chance to buy Ondas under $10 a share. The way things are looking, we'll see. And Veritone continues its amid all of this amazing sea of green in the stock market, especially for these stocks that we've been seeing. Senate Democrats on Friday rejected a Republican spending bill in a vote that will almost certainly push the US government shutdown into next week as the party stands firm in the face of President Donald Trump's threats to fire thousands of federal workers. So no real progress or movement, but the market hasn't seemed to care too much. We haven't seen too much volatility yet. We'll just have to see if that remains the case. And then in the wider market, it was more of a mixed day. Nvidia was down, Meta was down, Amazon was down. The real story this week has been the quantum sector and the AI sector and the hyperscalers. You wonder, okay, these Mag 7, these big companies aren't participating. Is that a cause for concern? I don't know, you guys. I will say that as I was thinking about this, I think it's very important that there are a lot of different factors at play here. And there's a lot of euphoria at this point in time. And there's the famous saying, sell euphoria, buy fear. And it does feel like we're in the euphoric stage. I personally, since I'm a long-term investor in quantum, I'm not selling shares at this point in time. However, I am understanding that there could be significant pullback because we've received these elevated levels. And that's kind of what I want to talk about thematically when we are celebrating our success and we're going into the weekend. Again, I want to measure my emotional reaction to that and understand that maybe we'll have pullback and that would actually be healthy for the long term. And we did see some significant pullback in IonQ last week. So we're going to start actually with IonQ and talk about that pullback. And this may be a prelude for what is to come for quantum stocks. And there was a 20% pullback over just a few trading days. So maybe 5 trading days, IonQ seemed to only go straight down. And then suddenly we had starting on the 1st of October, and now it's the 3rd, we had this reversal. So it's very difficult at this point in time to know exactly how this is going to shake out. But now IonQ is very close to its all-time highs, and we're getting closer to earnings. And earnings should show some of the income from some of the companies that they acquired. So we're going to see in this if this earnings call pushes IonQ higher or they drop lower because expectations are too high. For me, for IonQ, we're pretty clearly in a level where we are in a gap fill territory. So we breached over 71.24 and we're around the 73 price point. And you can see back here, we have a lot of history between 71 and 75. So these numbers may come into play. We could see something like 75, a rejection. We could see 66 maybe come into play. We could see different outcomes here. And of course, if this euphoria is to continue, if the trend is to continue, we could be seeing a higher price on IonQ going into earnings. And I did give my price target in 2025 of IonQ at 100, and I still believe that could be the case. All right, taking a look at Rigetti. So Rigetti is having a meteoric rise, and of all the quantum stocks, if you guys remember that video I posted, Rigetti's actually been the strongest. The pullbacks have been the most shallow, and I want to show you once again what the pullback has looked like in this rally. So from the top of this wick to the bottom of this wick, we've only had a 17% pullback. So from when we saw $34 a share, we also saw around $28 a share, and that dip was bought. And we saw yesterday an amazing green candle, and today just more buying, pushing us over the psychological level of $40 a share. Now with Rigetti, it's a similar situation. If the market cools off, so I'm going to, in this episode, I wanted to be very clear that this isn't, no one really knows what's going to happen because we're in what is called price discovery. So price discovery means the stock is finding its value, its resistance, and then we will see pullback. But anyone who has thought at any point along the way, $18, $20 along the way, that's the top. It's been very difficult to pin down these stocks, and it's been very difficult to bet against these stocks in 2025. And it's very difficult to call the top. Now, will there be pullback, and could there be significant pullback? Definitely. I think there is a world where the shutdown keeps going and investors start getting a little spooked, and we see something like this, or even down to 25, or even down further. So all of you who are quantum investors need to be prepared for volatility. And if you're uncomfortable with that, then if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen is all I got to say. Okay, so D-Wave, I told you guys we got some price information today is what I like to call it. Okay, so price information, meaning we see the order buy and sell blocks on these 5-minute candles. We had hours in the market day of rejections around this 33 whole number. And there was a little look above at market close or close to market close, and right around 32.50 to 33, there was a really tight trading range in there. So what that means is D-Wave was having a hard time. A lot of shares were stacked up, or institutions or retail was taking profits at 33. That number and those numbers that are resistance, if D-Wave is to continue its rally, could in the future act as support. So that's why it's important when we're reading a chart to take a look at those things. And we end the day fairly healthy on the RSI and MACD. So it's not really looking too overbought or oversold. And we have a new price level. So D-Wave, speaking of volatility in a stock, it's important to remember that D-Wave recently was around this 29, and then it dumped down to 23 for a 20% pullback. So fairly aggressive, similar to IonQ. I want to go back to those 5-minute candles. So I just want you all to keep in mind, and I've seen some comments saying, hey, like this is a great opportunity. I put my savings into this. Just understand these stocks can move sharply, decisively in both directions, and it's not very predictable at this point in time. So set a stop loss, protect yourself. Okay, SEALSQ. So SEALSQ, what happened today was amazing, and it's what I was looking for. So we had these higher highs. We had this long summer. We're going to call it the lost summer for SEALSQ. And we double bottomed here around 250. I got a nice buy order in here around 250 for more shares. We've had this rally and we just made, so if we count these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we do have higher highs, which is very bullish. And as you can see, lots of volume is coming in to LAES, and there's a huge catalyst coming up. And I'm going to be there at this Quantum+AI conference in New York. And the diamond sponsor is SEALSQ, and the keynote speaker is Carlos Morea, who is the CEO of SEALSQ, which is going to give LAES as a stock a lot of visibility. So that is an upcoming catalyst. And if we look to the left for LAES, we can see there's clearly rejections historically off of 516 or so. So we're creeping our way up. We're going to need to get over 516. And then there's not a lot of resistance. That's where things get interesting with LAES. So LAES is on my breakout watch. All right, QUBT, monster move today. It moved 23% as we saw on the watch list. And if we go back and look at the 5-year, this helps me understand potentially what's going to happen with a stock. So if we look at the last 5 years, if this bull trend is to continue, and we know they just fortified their cash position with their $500 million offering, and that's why the price has been $20 for a little while, because people are pissed off about that, understandably. But we just had the big pump to 24.65, and we're very close to that all-time high of around 27.28. So what's happened when D-Wave and Rigetti and the other quantum stocks surpassed their all-time high? Did they do something like this and then go down? No, what happened actually is they went into price discovery and they went higher. So QUBT is on my watch list for potential big moves if this bull rally continues, if this market holds up. All right, BTQ. So BTQ is a fascinating stock, a fascinating player. They've had a lot of news lately. You should definitely go look at BTC Technologies website. What we're looking at here is the whole entire price history of BTQ on the Nasdaq. This was a recently listed quantum stock. It's great for the quantum sector that we're getting new quantum stocks. BTQ has a specific quantum cybersecurity angle with blockchain, which seems promising. And the price action and the support levels, if I just kind of simplify this, around 675 has been an average price. So I've been building a position here because I think this is one of those companies maybe where if they have a breakthrough or they have a significant partnership or contract with any major company, then the stock is no longer under $10 a share. So I'm making a position in this. I have been making a position. I'm sharing my buys and sells in the Discord every day and explaining kind of my thinking behind as I invest. Okay, so final thoughts on quantum before we go into ACHR, Plug, Veritone, and SoFi. Quantum is hot, very, very hot right now. And it's exciting. And it's also a little scary because people think that stocks just go up forever. They don't. Eventually, there will be pullback and corrections. We don't know what the resistance levels are or the support levels are. We're getting some idea with the IonQ pullback, the D-Wave pullback, Rigetti pullback. We're starting to see potentially what the market tolerance is for buying and selling. So just keep that in mind. Keep reasonable expectations and be prepared for pullback. All right, so ACHR Aviation. So this one is one that I actually have leverage trade on. And I did alert the Discord about this. I have $9 calls through 2026 with a couple of different catalysts. So we have the technical catalyst that it's sitting here near its rising support. It's around recent highs are around $13.5. So we've fallen far from that. We're starting to make the recovery. But why? But what is the other catalyst besides the technical catalyst? And if I zoom out from the chart, the chart does show the story of a consistent uptrend with lows in April and March, and it looks like we just put in a new low around $8 recently. So what is the catalyst for Archer? Well, they have this international air show this weekend, and Archer is planning to have nearly 1,000 of their team members in attendance from its engineering, operations, and flight test team. So why would you bring 1,000 team members out to a public air show if there wasn't something special happening? So I think that's kind of the buying we were seeing. And that shows in the chart today that people, with the volume and the excitement, people are excited for this air show. I'm one of them, and I'm positioned for the news that could potentially come. So if Archer is able to do the electric vertical takeoff and landing, that would be a significant progress for this sector and for this technology. They may demonstrate this at the air show. That's anybody's best guess. But we do know, regardless of that they have reached altitudes of 7,000 and 10,000 feet in piloted test flights. So Archer has been making eVTOL history already, and the industry is hot. eVTOL is not an industry to be ignored. I think these stocks could be much, much higher in 2, 3, 4 years from now. And there's an opportunity here, I believe, in a bull market. Now, if we go to a bear market, things could change. Okay. So just keep that in mind as well. Final thought on Archer. If things go as planned, I expect more upside. And I think it's quite possible that Archer could take out its recent 52-week highs. Its all-time highs for Archer are around $18.64, but Joby's trading around $18 already. So it's possible. Okay, Plug Power has been on a tear. So Plug Power has been on an absolute tear. Plug Power got a price target raised to $7 from $3 by HC Wainwright. And I had this uptrend channel, and I've been talking about Plug since back here. And we got this bounce off 138, this rally. We broke this uptrend channel. We came back into the channel down around 220, and look at this gap up. Look at the absolutely crazy price action. We almost hit $4 a share, just shy of $4 a share. And the stock could be picked up for $1.50. There are opportunities in this market. Got to protect your gains, of course, by setting stop losses. Plug Power is on a roll and on my watch list, and one stock that I am long in. All right. And Veritone. So Veritone has been in a consistent uptrend. And of course, we had the CEO on the show, and right around when it was a $2.50 stock, and it's been moving up. They are in a bit of a turnaround story. They have had good numbers on their revenue. We can see the stock has rejected off 644. It's found support at 467. And more recently, it's trading in a tighter window of around $5.50 to $6. Keep Veritone on your radar. There could be more to come. There was that price target for $26 a share. All right. So SoFi to me is probably one of the most obvious buy the dip opportunities. In fact, we found support on the day candle right at a previous level that I had marked out, which is around this 24.70.25, where we had found support in the past. Now, why is SoFi a buy the dip opportunity? Go and look at their operating income, their revenue, their balance sheet, their cash flow. This is one of the prettiest profit vids you'll ever see. Look at the revenue. They're about to cross $1 billion if they haven't already. They've flipped operating income to positive. They have increased their debt, but they're also, it looks like this would be a little bit concerning for me, the cash and equivalent in total debt. I don't like to see that debt is increasing. So they're not perfect, but they're cash making machine. So SoFi, keep SoFi on your radar. All right, so we went a little bit longer today than I want to, but we just had so much to talk about, and the market is hot right now, especially the stocks that we look at on this channel. So I hope you really appreciate content like this. Congratulations to each and every one of you if you realized gains in any of your stocks today. Really appreciate you. If you like content like this, feel free to subscribe. Would love to have you. And of course, if you'd like to become a member, would love to have you join us over on the Discord. All right, have a great one.